here to sign the addendum to the 20-year agreement. Spokesman from RMLD.
Yep.
Let's see, we didn't bring the podium over, I guess we could.
It's right there.
I don't really need it.
Well, it's for our listening audience, it's not for,
Is there a microphone I
Yeah.
can speak into? I'll make this brief. Okay. Before I start, thank you for letting me appear here for the signing memorialization of the 20-year agreement. I got Phil Casino here. He's a commissioner in the RMLD, oldest serving, longest serving.
Longest serving, not oldest.
I was looking for a job when I had this one. This is John Norton from the CAB.
we all know John.
I'm a very valued member of the CAB. On April 12th, the North Reading Board of Selectmen voted to extend the 20-year agreement. At that time, I said that I would be coming back with what we call a memorialization. Basically, all you have to do is vote to extend the motion. But what we've done is, we put this memorialization together, and it just says when each of the 4 towns in the RMLD board voted to extend the 20-year agreement. And I've got space in here for the selectmen to sign. So I came here tonight to see if I could get this signed by the selectmen. And you are the last, the remaining ones to sign. So if I could,
Sure. Okay, before we do that, any questions? Anybody?
Just double poll issues, who should they contact? I was
On me?
approached, on a
Double
double,
poll?
yeah,
yeah, just call me.
okay.
If you want, call engineering. In Reading, North Reading, we have the responsibility for the double poles. So once everybody's off them, it's up to the RMLD to get them out. Where in other parts of our service territory, it's Verizon's responsibility. But if there's any double pole issues, you can call me, call engineering.
Okay.
We're pretty good about getting the double poles out.
Fair enough.
If there's one out there we haven't got out,
Oh,
there's either a good reason or someone.
There's a number up in my neighborhood that are double poles, but there's still a utility on there and it's not you.
Right,
Um,
yeah.
Is there anything that we can do, that you know that we can do in order to facilitate cable companies, Verizon, to get off?
We were asked that question quite a bit. We really don't have any leverage with Verizon. Verizon schedules their work, and they do it on their own time. If for some reason we need that pole done, we'll contact them and maybe they'll get out there. But Verizon schedules their stuff on their own. Our work, I've told construction and engineering people that as soon as we get out there, we transfer off the old pole. We don't leave we don't plant a pole and leave our equipment on the pole, unless might be late in the afternoon. We'll get back there in the next morning, but we want to transfer everything off because Verizon, Comcast, and Fire Alarm won't transfer it unless our stuff's been transferred first. That's the way it goes.
Yeah.
But again, call me if you have a double pole issue. I'll see what I can
Now,
do.
as far as
Thank
your agreement, I mean, you have to allow them access to your poles, correct?
Well, all the poles are jointly owned by ourselves and Verizon for the most part.
Okay. Is there any type of a contract agreement with them
Yes.
that's a renewable type thing, or is it an ongoing?
It's kind of an ongoing contract.
Because, what's the legislation that's either pending or been passed where municipalities can kind of fine utilities for not taking care of this stuff?
There's been legislation that's been discussed, I'm not sure if it's passed yet or not, but there's been discussion about fining utilities. One of the problems is that, the thing I just mentioned, if we're still on the pole,
Right.
Verizon, Comcast, and Fire Alarm will say, well, you can't fine me because the RMLD isn't off there yet.
Right.
So it's kind of, sometimes you'd be chasing your tail and trying to find out who to find. But somehow,
What I'd
to
like
get
to,
people to move.
yeah, what I'd like to see is, if you're ultimately responsible, you mean the RMLD is ultimately responsible for all the poles, then if you have some sort of an agreement with Verizon, Comcast, whoever else is in here, Fire Alarm's us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let us know if we're not off. You know, then I'd like to see some sort of agreement with them whereby if you're ultimately responsible, if we're able to fine you, you know, you're able to pass it on to the other vendor. I'm not looking to, you know, saddle you with it totally, but we need to incent these other people to move on it. You know, we also have a situation where there are a number of dummy poles, I mean, sections of poles that have been cut off and are hanging,
Stub.
the stubs hanging around too for a long time.
One of the things that we've done in the past, and actually it's worked pretty well for Reading, is that we will send out periodically what we call double pole reports. And we keep the double pole reports on an Excel spreadsheet.
Right.
And we will show every double pole by street, by pole number, and we'll show who's remaining on the pole. What I can do is I can, tomorrow morning, have the North Reading one updated, and I could send it to Greg. And if you take that, I know in Reading's case, they took that, they talked with Verizon, they said, we need these poles removed, and Verizon got out there and they moved
Yeah,
them.
what I'd like to do, because occasionally they come in here looking for something from us, maybe even this evening.
Yeah.
Like an easement. We can use that as an incentive to get them to move on some of these double poles. We've done it in the
You know,
past.
we had some success when they were waiting for us to sign the cable
Right.
agreement.
Yeah.
And since then, I don't think much has been done.
Right. So, yeah, if you could update that, get it to us, that would be good. And again, if there's any way that you can assist us, or we can assist you, to get this facilitated, you know, let us know. We're open to suggestions.
Okay.
But it is an ongoing issue in a number of areas of town. I just happened to notice the other day up around our neighborhood, I'd be walking down in the wooded area,
Mhm.
and I ran out of fingers, you know. So
Okay.
so there are a number of them. And then in addition to that, since we have you here, Vinnie, Route 62, poles in the middle of the sidewalk with the reconstruction. Not ADA compliant. I don't know how, I see that there's one being moved, is it down by the high school? Which is right smack dab in the middle of the ramp, the handicap ramp, which is finally being moved. But there are a number of poles on that Route 62 project that are right smack dab in the middle of these sidewalks. And I don't know where the engineering failed or what happened, but we haven't been able to have
Is,
much success in, with, of course, the state. And I don't know about RMLD, as far as getting some of these poles moved back off of the sidewalks so they're accessible.
We've had discussion in the past with North Reading. We took our marching orders from the state. That was a state design.
Right.
We have talked with the engineering people in North Reading. I haven't heard anything on the issue for probably a year or so. Probably,
All
right,
right.
I don't know.
There's Dick. What-
This happened before me.
I know it happened before you.
We know
You're
that.
still on your honeymoon. You're still on your honeymoon, Dick, but we want to resurrect the issue then.
Yeah, I've noticed the same thing, and it's a tremendous cost to move the poles. There's another option, because there's walls there, to move the walls
Right.
back, to give you that, whatever, 36 inches. So there's ways to do it, and none of them are cheap, unfortunately. And some fall
And again,
out.
I'm not expecting every single one of them to be compliant, but there are a number of them where there's plenty of room to put them in a good place, you know, as opposed to in the middle of the sidewalk. And I also noticed that, you know, some of the walls have been built, and you're not gonna be able to do that reasonably, but there are a significant number of those poles that have plenty of room to be put appropriately, as opposed to where they have been put. Can we work out some sort of and again, even if it's an extended timeframe, to put a plan in place that should be agreeable to Reading Municipal Light, to get some of these things moved over an extended period of time, instead of just ignoring it or saying, sorry, you're stuck with it. Because I can't accept that we're stuck with it. You know, after all that we've done and all that we've gone through, with the Route 62 project, and then you can't have a sidewalk that's, never mind handicap accessible. I mean, two people walking side by side have to split sometimes to go around the pole, you know? See people walking their dog and have to unwrap themselves, you know, it's,
Let us look at it, get our arms around it, and figure out options that cost.
Yeah, there were two issues, as I recall. One had to do with whether there was handicap access, and I thought that I thought that the design had met those requirements. But there was another thing, I believe, that had to do with snow plowing. And whether, I think, I don't know, they call them bombardiers, whether a sidewalk plow could get through there.
Yeah,
That was another issue.
Yeah, those things are actually, that was an issue last winter.
Yeah.
Bobcats, so they're 42 inches edge to edge, and that whole area, I got them to work on that, and you go up on people's property and through the lawns.
it's just
literally
because of
not
where
that wide.
but, I mean, the sidewalks are wide enough, but it's the placement of the poles. I mean, on your way out, take a ride down 62.
I know what you're talking
Yeah, from St. Teresa's Church all the way up past the high school,
about. Right,
you know, so it's,
Take a look at it.
yeah.
you know, but if we could get some sort of a commitment, that you'll take a look at it and you'll commit to, again, even if it's over an extended period of time, but if we can get a timetable written down and identify which poles can be moved, you know, in the most cost-effective way. And some of them, I recognize, can't be easily done. None of them are easily done, but some of them, there's plenty of room. They're all within the right-of-way. It's just 3 feet the wrong way, you know, or 2 feet the wrong way.
Yeah. Let's look at it, see what we can do.
Okay.
There's gotta be some low-hanging fruit, maybe we can knock those off first, and then it's gonna be some tough ones, I'm sure.
But if we can get some sort of a game plan identified, you know, with RMLD, a timeline associated with it, that'd be great. Yeah, but identify which ones can be done more easily than others. That'd be terrific. Meantime, I'm still in favor of this 20-year agreement. Quick silence. All right.
Okay, I need a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to sign the 20-year agreement extension document between the Town of North Reading and Reading Municipal Light Department to continue the agreement through July 9, 2030.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Prisco, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Further discussion, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, unanimous. There's a document we need to sign.
It's always great to see you, Vinnie.
It's always good to come
Yeah,
up.
you guys do, you do a great job.
Well, I pride myself in the fact that with all four towns, we have a very good relationship. You know, with the selectmen, with the town managers, with the DPW, people in the DPW.
You have a good crew out there who are always very, very responsive. It's greatly appreciated. We know it starts from the top.
Thank you. But, you know, my job wouldn't be as easy as it is without the staff that I have.
And the guidance you get from guys like Phil over
Well,
there.
Phil,
Can I ask a question?
the longest reigning selectman, board member.
Michael?
I'm one of the newest selectmen. My name's Mike Prisco. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Is there a committee? I guess I'm a liaison to RMLD committee, and I just not sure who the point of contact is
Well,
for.
John is our,
John?
John? Okay,
John Norton. Thank you.
okay.
Part of the 20-year
The
agreement created the
Citizens Advisory
Citizens Advisory Board. And there's one member from each town, and Wilmington has an extra member because they're the largest of the four towns that we serve. So if you have anything that you need relayed to the Board of the Board of Commissioners, if you're selecting, you could go through John. John's very knowledgeable. We spend a lot of time learning about the RMLD and about the utility industry. And he's very knowledgeable. Got
So
good
so
input.
John's our rep on the Citizens Advisory Board, but you're the liaison.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's your new liaison.
Okay.
I'm the
From the
new
Because
liaison.
there is a liaison for each one of the selectmen.
I'm the man.
Mike's the new man.
So does it meet on a regular basis?
We meet once a month, mostly the last Thursday of the month. What do they say? Thursday, Wednesday.
Thursday for you though, Mike.
Works for me.